So we just got this all hooked up, and I wanted to show you what first power up means. So I've got kind of a short right here. Bear with me. But it's going to go through a cycle kind of like your gauges on your vehicle. See that? And it's going to come up and it's going to be off. So what you're going to do, first power up, is you're going to just press and hold that down button. 300 seconds should come on. That's your fuel pumping execution. There it is right there. Starts ticking. I don't need to, so I'm going to stop it because I'm just pumping extra fuel. But don't turn it on first. Just hold the down button, right? That should be your first action as far as trying to get fuel up there. Also, if you have a clear fuel line, you can see it up to the heater, which is great. Now, I'm going to turn mine on because A, I'm going to use it, but B, I just cleaned it. And as far as voltage, things like that, one thing you need to check on is wiring to the battery. Sometimes, especially these older ones, have smaller wires and they have a hard time pulling the amperage needed to actually start up. You can get an amp clamp is what I found and go around the power wire, the main power wire, just about anywhere. I usually go right here because it's more accessible, and it should pull about 12 amps on startup. That is going to be your glow plug. That's a huge indicator whether your glow plug's actually pulling the amperage without tearing it apart. Once it's up and running, it only uses about 2 to 4 amps, depending on how high you have it set. The higher you have it set, the more amps it pulls, the less amps it pulls. Your fuel pump doesn't pull a whole lot. It's a dosing pump. Realistically, you should be able to get it to start clicking after a while. I mean, I'm just kind of flapping my jaws here, but it hasn't started kicking on yet. So once it does, I'll point at it, I'll tell you. But it has to go through kind of the safety sequence where the fan kicks on, it's reading temperature, and once it knows that the fan is running RPM wise, it's going to start pumping fuel. It's also heating up my glow plug right now so that once that fuel hits it, it will ignite. Just started pumping fuel, and I actually heard it because my intake's off. I heard that whoo, that flame ignite. So I know it's running. From here, it'll kick up. That's just part of the process as far as running it. And you need 12 volts. It shuts off at, I think, 9 volts, and also was shut off at 15 volts. Don't quote me on those numbers, but somewhere around there, the safety functions. The heat sensor that just sits on top right here, that will also shut off at a certain temperature. I don't know what that is, but I've had those go bad because it does not read that it's getting heat, so the startup fails. You can ohm that also and see if there's resistance or an open circuit. I believe my ohm meter showed, I don't remember. I'd be lying to tell you. But it's super easy to change, and they're, I think, $7 off Amazon. All these parts are super easy to change. I just fixed 3 heaters for a friend. I think we're $20 into a controller and $20 into a glow plug because I bought the gaskets, came with a screen, a socket. So we're going to send that to him, and that's really about it. They're fairly not complicated as far as troubleshooting, as long as you know the startup sequence and kind of how that goes. There are some more intricate things as far as like fan spacing, your fan motor, things like that, but everything on these is fairly cheap. If you need 1 or 2 parts, you can completely rebuild these. Your wiring harness, controller board, all the wires, everything runs about $60. Your fuel pump, I think it's $20-$30. So if you replaced everything, it might be more expensive than just buying a new one. That's what's great about these. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, more specific questions, anything I can help you out, I'll try to have my ducks in a row, get a amp clamp, multimeter. We can walk through that if you have questions on that. But realistically, I do these videos so that I hope I can help someone out, especially if they have one of these. So yeah, follow me, subscribe, and we'll try to help you out with whatever you got, man.